So after this IGN article happened, right? The next day, we have EA Investor Day. Basically, a day where EA basically tells investors, please invest into our company because look what we're doing.
Please give me your money.
Please give me your money because this is what we're doing. So everything they talked about Battlefield and about that section of the presentation is basically the same as it was IGN article, but with more, I guess, corporate, more details, I guess. And they go with this mantra.
More C-suite speak.
Yeah. They go with this mantra, for example, where they said, find the fun, right? So they talked about, like, this is how we approach the next Battlefield game in terms of development. We want to prototype, we want to playtest, and we want to get the feedback. So they were basically talking about the community program that we just talked about for the last 20 minutes. Basically, prototype, playtest, feedback. That sounds more promising than Battlefield 1 CT ever was. If they followed the idea that they're presenting to us. And we learned from that investor day that DICE is doing the multiplayer, Motive Studios is doing the single player, Criterion is helping with content for multiplayer and single player, and Ripple Effect is doing a new experience for Battlefield. And the guy that was doing the presentation was Byron Beatty. Now, I don't know if you remember if I ever mentioned to you the Byron Beatty guy, but I remember talking to him about on the previous episodes. Byron Beatty is one of the creators for Call of Duty Warzone. So as soon as Call of Duty Warzone came out, like a year or something like that, he moved to EA. And I was thinking, okay, he is not doing anything. I haven't heard from him about doing anything at EA for 2-3 years. And now he's at the investors call, investors day, front and center as the group general manager for Battlefield. And this what people don't realize. What people don't realize what I haven't seen anyone talk about this. DICE is not in charge of Battlefield. This is not this next game. It's not a DICE game. DICE is just doing the multiplayer. Sure, that's the main part of a Battlefield game, but he's not in charge. They're not in charge. Byron Beatty is. Vince Zampella is. Vince Zampella and Byron Beatty. These are the figureheads. These are the spokesmen. These are the people, the game designers with loads of experience and success. Vince Zampella made amazing games. He made Apex Legends. He made Titanfall. He created Call of Duty, for fuck's sake.
Look, if I'm gonna stop you before you get too much further in because I know exactly where you're going with this. The problem with this is there have been some other things that have just recently happened in the gaming industry that could probably set a precedent that would change what you're trying to infer might be coming completely on its ass and on its head forever. Because I think I know where you're going with this. In some way, shape, or form, there's a possibility that something esque of Warzone will end up its way into Battlefield. And personally speaking, I would think that would be awesome because Warzone pretty much is fucking Battlefield. Think about it, boil it down.
I did want to mention that. No,
you can't drive through a goddamn fence.
But the idea is, I just want to say that I'm gonna excite not because of this, like I want to be Warzone, whatever in Battlefield. It's fine, whatever. It's not the point. The point is, I'm just excited that someone other than DICE is responsible for the main Battlefield title. I'm just happy that people with successes that actually made good games back in the day, Byron Beatty created Warzone. Then you have Vince Zampella. Then Vince Zampella created, Titanfall, Apex Legends, Call of Duty. They made good games that people love to.
The talent is here. The stars seem to be aligning.
And these are the people guiding this franchise for the future. They're the ones deciding which direction this franchise should go. DICE doesn't call the shots anymore. They like whatever shots they do Battlefield 5 and Battlefield 42. Like here's the thing, DICE has the talent to be a great studio and make a great Battlefield game. But I think all of us agree they were misguided in the last couple of releases. They were misguided. So I'm kind of excited for the fact knowing that, hey, people with experience, people know what they're doing, people know what they made successes. And they work on the Battlefield now, they work on this franchise, and they from what, like I said, the PR thing, what Vince Zampella said in that IGN article about Battlefield, like, yeah, we want to go back to the basics, we want to go to the roots, what made Battlefield great, and people talk about Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 being great. So he understands, and I'm pretty sure Byron Beatty also understands what makes Battlefield great. And from I've seen the Investor Day, like the presentation itself, yeah, they again also him, the group general manager of Battlefield. That's a title I never heard of since DICE is a thing. You would you? I never heard a title. So they made a title for him that he's the guy responsible for the Battlefield franchise now. He's like, everything that you want to make in the Battlefield franchise now, you have to go through him.
Now has to go through me.
Yeah, it has to go through him. And just because of that, doesn't matter what happens with the leaked battle royale or the multiplayer section, wherever. I remember like a couple of episodes I said, like, I don't know if the game is gonna be good. We don't know if the game is going to be fantastic or absolute dog shit. We don't know that.
Fuck, we don't even know what it's going to be.
Yeah, we don't know what's going to be, right?
Besides modern. Yeah. That's it. That's all we know. We don't know anything else.
But I did mention those couple of episodes ago, wherever the game is, I think they will nail the presentation of the game. And from what I've seen so far from this Investor Day and the IGN article, these two people, they know what they're talking about, and I think the presentation of the game will be on point. Will the game be good? Different story. But the presentation, I think they got it. I think they understand, and they will go with that. And I'm just
right. But at the end of the day, it needs to be the opposite way around. The presentation needs to be good. I'm not gonna say that it can be. You can have a shit presentation in a good game and get anywhere with it, because no, that's dumb to say. But what I'm saying is the focus needs to be less on the presentation and more on the gameplay and the fun. I mean,
yeah, obviously, yeah.
Period. You can't. Cool. It looks pretty. Looks great. I can smash through things. I can do things. But if it's not fun, if it's not engaging, if it's not what it should be or what it's supposed to be, then you know what I mean?
Yeah,